Good evening, I'm Ebony Brandon. Today is Friday, 16th March 2018. This is the SKN News Now Evening Edition. In the headlines tonight, nationally, police are on the hunt for two violent sexual predators. Internationally, the United Nations is accusing Mexican police of torture. And in sport, Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy are in contention for the Arnold Palmer Invitational. We've got the details of these stories, the weather and Carib update straight ahead in this evening's edition of SKN News Now. The Royal St. Christopher and Nevis police forces turned to the public for information which will hopefully lead to the capture of two men accused of assaulting a young girl. According to police, on Tuesday afternoon, March 14th, in the Bastille area, the two men approached a female juvenile. The men, one armed with what appeared to be a gun and the other wielding a knife, physically and sexually assaulted the girl and then fled the scene. Persons with information regarding the incident are asked to contact the Special Victims Unit at the Bastille Police Station at telephone numbers 465-2241, 665-3091 or by calling the nearest police station. And in other developments this evening, the administration of the Bastille High School staged a lockdown at the institution yesterday in an effort to protect students and decrease violence. Reportedly, the school has been ground zero for a number of gang-related fights over the past weeks. The lockdown came immediately after a fight yesterday, which was documented as the fifth gang-related incident in just a few days. The intensity of the fight attracted the attention of police officers, as allegedly the brother of one of the fighters attempted to enter the school compound. One student said they were all terrified and their teachers locked the doors to secure them. One of the students involved in the altercation was detained by police and taken off the school's premises. Police have since launched an investigation into the matter. And the chairperson of the National Marijuana Commission, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws, has indicated that a series of town hall meetings will soon take place in St. Kitts and Nevis as the country continues to cooperate with the CARICOM Marijuana Commission. According to Dr. Laws, the coming series of consultative town hall meetings are a follow-up to those which began in October 2017. They're also being held as the 12-member National Commission seeks to meet the four objectives laid out by the Cabinet of St. Kitts and Nevis.
1. To conduct a situational analysis and explore the latest evidence regarding the legal, medical, social, economic, and religious implications of the use and abuse of marijuana and its derivatives. 2. To engage all the people of the Federation through town hall meetings and focus group discussions to share the facts and ascertain their position on the complex issues of marijuana use. 3. To interface with the CARICOM Marijuana Commission. And 4. To develop a final report to inform relevant policy decisions regarding marijuana or cannabis sativa, which is still classified as a Schedule 1 drug or substance.
With Phase 1 of the National Commission's work at an end, she also outlined the work which has already been completed to date and what lies ahead.
We collated the local data regarding the number of persons imprisoned and convicted for possession of this illicit drug. We have explored and gleaned the latest evidence regarding the complex issues of marijuana use and abuse. We have also been interfacing with the CARICOM Marijuana Commission. 3 members of the CARICOM Marijuana Commission came into country, and on November 16, 2017, we facilitated 4 consultative meetings which they chaired. The National Marijuana Commission is now ready to follow through with the second phase of its work and will seek to accomplish 2 objectives. 1. to ascertain the position of the people of the Federation on the controversial issues surrounding marijuana use through a series of consultative meetings, and 2. To conduct a national survey to ascertain the prevalence of use of marijuana in the Federation.
At the end of this exercise, the National Marijuana Commissions from across the CARICOM member states will make their submissions to the CARICOM Marijuana Commission. At this stage, the positions of the member countries will be put together into a comprehensive report by the CARICOM Marijuana Commission, which will then present it along with their recommendations on how the region should proceed on the issue of marijuana to regional heads of government. They will then collectively come to a decision on how the region should approach possible adjustments to the present laws and restrictions on the use of the plant for medicinal, recreational, and religious purposes. A group of 5 persons departed the Federation on Thursday as part of the first phase of St. Kitts and Nevis's participation in the 2018 Canada-Caribbean Seasonal Agricultural Workers Program, or CCSAWP. During their time in Canada, the 5 St. Kitts and Nevis nationals will work on Canadian farms during the planting and harvesting seasons. The recruitment phase of the employment opportunity in Canada is coordinated annually by the Ministry of Labour. According to the Ministry of Labour, effort has gone into rebranding the recruitment process for the program in order to make the opportunity for employment abroad more attractive to potential local applicants. It also provides the opportunity for the participants to earn an income while having time to be exposed to the Canadian culture and those of other workers participating in the program from across the region. CCSAWP is a Government of Canada program that was introduced in 1966 between Canada and Jamaica, but has since expanded to include Mexico and numerous other Caribbean countries. It is available to persons who are at least 18 years of age from any of the participating countries. According to the Foreign Cultural Resource Management Services in Canada, the foreign countries that provide seasonal workers under the Commonwealth Caribbean Mexico Seasonal Agricultural Workers Program are Mexico, Jamaica, the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, and the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, which includes Antigua and Barbuda, the Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Officer Leon Michael has been named the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force's Constable of the Year for 2017. With 5 previous nominations, this is Officer Michael's second time receiving the prestigious award, which he also took in 2011. As one of 10 officers nominated for recognition and the award for 2017, Michael, in his acceptance speech, implored his colleagues to be unrelenting in the execution of their duties. He attributed his achievement to hard work and dedication, and extended thanks to several persons, including his parents, for their encouragement and support over the years. Michael joined the force in 2002 and was transferred to the Nevis Division the following year, where he is currently stationed at the Court and Process Unit. Constable Karen Nicholas from the Task Force Unit came in at 2nd place. In 3rd place was Constable Shane James from the Cotton Ground Police Station. The top 3 constables were all given smart televisions from the Strategic Planning Group. Also making the top 10 were Constable Keith Pemberton from the Newcastle Police Station, Constable Cleon Michael from the Criminal Investigation Department, Constable Gleason Burke from the Violent Crime Unit, Constable Asif Rohman from the Gingerland Police Station, Special Constable Sharice Williams from the Traffic Department, Constable Rondell Harvey and Constable Kennedy Stevens, who are both from the Beat and Troop Patrol Department. Now in its 15th year, the annual Constable of the Year award is planned and coordinated by the Strategic Planning Group of the Nevis Division and is sponsored by the Nevis Island Administration. Each department and outstation is allowed to nominate their best performing constable annually. The nominees are judged based on several key areas, including attendance, punctuality, appearance, productivity, discipline, leadership, attitude towards others, and response to emergencies. The Beat and Patrol Department was allowed to submit 2 nominees this time around. The strategic group then decides on the finalists and winners. And with that, we've come to the end of this evening's national developments. Stay with us, still straight ahead this evening, international developments, sport, and the weather. The United Nations Human Rights Office is accusing Mexico's police of torturing dozens of people while investigating the disappearance of 43 students 4 years ago. It says there's strong evidence some of those arrested were subjected to arbitrary detention and rights violations. John Holman reports.
It was a case that horrified Mexico. 43 students pulled off of buses by corrupt Mexican police working with a criminal gang. They were never seen alive again. For months after, the capital's main avenue reverberated to this cry. Alive you took them, alive we want them back. Now authorities are accused not just of failing the students, but the suspects in the case. A new UN report says there are strong indications that officials tortured 34 of those the Attorney General's office detained.
The detainees denounce in a detailed and consistent way the torture that they were exposed to. Beatings, asphyxiation with plastic bags, electric shocks, waterboarding, sexual torture. Threats to rape their wives and daughters.
It all puts more doubt on investigators' findings, mostly based on suspect confessions, that the students were killed and burnt in this rubbish dump. Many believe those conclusions were rushed out in the hope of putting a full stop on the controversy. But the case has continued to haunt authorities already accused of torture and human rights abuses on many other occasions. If those at the Attorney General's office want a reminder of the case that's further damaged an already tarnished reputation, they need look no further than the permanent protest camp devoted to the disappeared students that's right on their doorstep. It put out a statement casting doubt on the UN's conclusions. It said, the ongoing investigation and the evidence recorded in our case files does not support the conclusions of the report. For many here, that simply won't wash, especially after the UN also revealed that the same Attorney General's office had failed to hold any officials responsible.
Until now, we have no knowledge that anyone's been held responsible for these acts of torture and other violations of human rights. The officials who are responsible remain unpunished.
Many will see that not as a surprise, but another indication that authorities are more ready to protect themselves than the public.
It's been 4 months since an Argentinian submarine went missing in the southern Atlantic. Relatives of crew members on the submarine are demanding answers. They are not convinced by government assurances that everything possible is being done to find the vessel. Teresa Bo reports.
A small group of protesters in front of Argentina's presidential palace. Most of them relatives of the 44 crew members of the Ara San Juan submarine.
We feel abandoned not only by the government but also by society in general. We've been alone this whole time, as if nobody cares.
It's been 4 months since the submarine went missing in the southern Atlantic. It was sailing from the southern Argentine city of Ushuaia. The commander of the vessel told his home base water had entered, resulting in a battery malfunction. Underwater listening devices scattered around the world's oceans identified a hydroacoustic anomaly in the area. The Navy believes it was an explosion. Luis Tagliapietra's son, Daniel, was part of the crew. He has been pushing for the government to continue with the search and the investigation into exactly what happened.
It's been 120 days when supposedly an explosion was detected, and we have more doubts than ever because over 2 hours after the supposed explosion, there is an attempt to contact base. Nobody has been able to give us any answers. We want to know the truth because there is an attempt to hide what happened.
The government says it has done everything possible to find the missing submarine, but people here are desperate and they're convinced that not enough has been done. Some of them are even asking for small donations so that they can hire a private company that will help them find their loved ones. There's been an international search for the missing sub. Russia and the United States provided ships and technology, but weather conditions were difficult at the time. No trace of the vessel has been found. The search is continuing, though, with a reduced number of ships. Horacio Tetamanti believes there might be another reason why finding the submarine has become even more difficult.
Most probably the submarine got stuck in underwater canyons with enormous currents, and very probably the submarine could be covered with sediments, which makes it more difficult to find. Now we need to continue combing the area, change the type of technology. It could take years to find.
And that's what these people want. They've lost hope. Their relatives will be found alive. But say they need to know what happened, no matter how long it takes.
Still straight ahead in this evening's news presentation, sport, weather and Carib update. And in news of golf this evening, Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy are both in contention after the opening round at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Sweden's Henrik Stenson leads after an 8-under par 64, with American Woods tied 7th on 4 under and Northern Ireland's McIlroy a shot further back. England's Justin Rose and Tommy Fleetwood and Northern Irishman Graham McDowell are also on 3 under. Woods' round follows a second-place finish for the 14-time major winner as the Valspar Championship last week. Woods' resurgence sent a bolt of electricity through golf as he made 6 birdies in his round in Florida, including a 71-foot putt on the 7th. Woods had won 8 times at Bay Hill, but has not won a PGA Tour event since 2013, having had 4 back operations in 3 years. McIlroy, who has not won since September 2016, had looked set to reach the clubhouse ahead of Woods, but drove out of bounds on the 18th and made a double bogey. Rose was 4 over par after his first 6 holes, but hit 7 birdies in the following 10 before ending with 2 pars. And having had a look at sport this evening, we now turn attention to this evening's weather forecast. Conditions over St. Kitts and Nevis tonight will be mostly fair. Winds are east at 10 to 16 miles per hour with lighter spells overnight. Seas are moderate with swells of 1.2 to 1.5 meters or 4 to 5 feet. The sea level pressure is 1017.7 millibars or 30.04 inches. The sun will rise tomorrow at 6:17 a.m. And that look at the weather brings us to the end of this evening's news presentation. Now for a recap of our top stories. Nationally, police are on the hunt for 2 violent sexual predators. Internationally, the United Nations is accusing Mexican police of torture. And in sport, Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy are in contention at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. I've been your presenter this evening, Ebony Brandon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay with us. Up next, Carib Update.